Good afternoon. You're listening to KHTS Radio 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, and Facebook. I want to say hi to everyone who is listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, and I have Felicia Jurado here today. She is awesome. She has all the answers, I think almost all the answers, to your insurance needs. And the show is, about trust, probate, divorce, and everything that's involved in that arena. And all the professionals I have on the show are professionals that deal with people in those situations or even conventional situations. And this is informative for things that you need to know that you don't know.
Yes.
And when people come to me after the fact, I decided that this would be a good opportunity to educate people on things that they need to know.
Thank you.
So yeah, Felicia,
Hi.
tell
Hi.
us about what's going on. I know that the fires have been devastating. It just breaks my heart when I
Yeah.
see, when I
Well, what we've
smell
been
it and see
seeing,
it.
yeah.
It's just horrible.
And what's been happening is the unaffordability of how insurance rates are starting to really be affected by those types of risks now, where they're insurance companies are non-renewing and they're not writing the new business just over the past few years of just the catastrophes of our fire seasons. But what I wanted to talk about today is that our insurance commissioner here in California is responding, and he realizes the reality of the situation and is really concerned for the public and the homeowners and the people who can least afford those types of insurance hikes. And then we are seeing the pandemic and people are getting tighter and tighter in their income. And there's now something that's come out in the real estate world called hardening,
Tell
home
me about that.
hardening. And the commissioner was talking about working with insurance companies and somehow implementing the hardening in as far as like being able to still have the market of writing the fire insurance for people's homes, new home buyers. Hardening is something that came out is talking about what you can do to your home to prevent it from not well yeah it's preventative from forest fires and those types of risks. There's roof. You could do stuff with your roof, your vents, your windows, your walls, your ducts, and your rain gutters, amongst other things. And he had the commissioner just this last month in October wanted to take the following actions in our market to develop these home hardening standards, which is it's really good news for people. They should be very excited about being able to take action and do something about being able to do something to their home so that they could still get their proper coverage. Because when you have a mortgage, the mortgage company
Right.
kind of makes you get this insurance.
So the people, that have been devastated by the fire up to now, um, in these unprecedented times, especially, and they have lost their home or it's too destroyed to move back in, were they able to accommodate their needs and planning them in a place to live? Or are insurance companies giving people a hard time with the replacement value? Or is it depends on the insurance you have? What's a good way for people to really get a grip on the
Right.
devastation, and they had insurance or maybe didn't cover anything or something or not everything. I mean, there are different thresholds that these people should know that can help them.
Right. So, in the private sector of insurance, you have what's called loss of use, and then I think in California Fair Plan, it's called it's the same kind of thing. It's not loss of use. It's my mind just went blank, but if you have this coverage on your policy, then it's the amount of money that the insurance company gives you to have to live somewhere else while your house is being renovated, rebuilt, or whatever. Loss assessment is what is called under the California Fair Plan. Well, the loss assessment, what they'll do under the California Fair Plan is they'll assess what the general rent is, and you can select those coverage amounts. And I always tell people, if your house burns down to the ground, that means you're going to be out of your house for a while. And so you have to think about like a year's worth of rent. You want to be able to have enough money in there to be able to pay for something else while your house is being rebuilt, because you still owe your mortgage. You're going to still owe that payment plus moving out. So the loss of use, say, farmers insurance, they'll have a percentage of your dwelling coverage cost of how much you get to rent another house or another place to live while your house is being renovated. Your structure reconstruction cost is a big deal, and Farmers offers, which is we offer an additional 10% on top of your dwelling coverage, just in case if there's any building
that's great.
if there's any building codes or costs that have gone up that are unforeseen. So they'll pad that dwelling coverage to make sure that you can get that rebuilt. I mean, I think most insurance companies are not in the business not to pay their claims, but you have to be very careful of then what coverages you've selected to make sure that there's enough money. You've entered that contract and there's enough money in there that it's going to help when the time of need is there.
Do you ever, I spoke to people sporadically throughout the last few months. Is there where the insurance company may give people a hard time because they think some of the things in the house were not up to code, even though it was a fire devastation of natural causes or whatever, the
I don't
heat?
think a lack of code was going to deny a claim. I think it's going to depend on how that policy is written. So if it's lack of maintenance, they could deny it. Like for instance, let's look at like water damage.
Right.
Leaking over years is not covered because you have a responsibility as a homeowner to keep up on your pipes. However, bursts,
I see.
sunbursts, like if you have a faulty something that happened, you
When you
Yeah.
say they have to keep up to code, well, let's say someone didn't maintain their air conditioning unit, right, or the heater, or something that could have caused damage and exposed the home to be destroyed versus just damaged. Would they say, well, let me see your history on your electrical or something like that? Do they go that arena to say,
Well, I mean, if
well,
you have like, so for instance, all of our new homes have the type of wiring that's required when you're buying your house. And if a wire is faulty and it happens to cause a fire, that's pretty unforeseeable. Obviously, water pipes, they leak. You could see that it causes damage. You could see it being wet.
right.
So I've never seen a claim being denied because there was a faulty wire. Usually that's one of the perils that you are insuring against.
Well, I have an interesting question. Let's say you have an AGU, but it's not permitted, right? Years ago, maybe people just slapped it together because grandma was coming to live, or the older child who's a teenager was coming to live, and they decided to put bathrooms and a living area in the garage without getting it permitted as an ADU. And God forbid there was a fire or some kind of damage done there. If they go and inspect the property and they see it wasn't permitted, would that cause a problem for insurance purposes?
Technically speaking, no.
Okay.
As long as you have the correct, square footage, declared. I've never seen an insurance claim. I mean, this is my experience. It was not properly permitted. I don't think I've come across that yet.
Yeah. It's interesting. So when when I show homes, from time to time, there are ADUs or mom and pop areas, or you want to call that separate from the home, and they didn't pull permits to complete the space, right? So they had a plumber come in. They didn't pull permits from the building department. And, I always say, but I know, of course, when we do the appraisal, it is not part of the appraisal because they can't give it value. So I always wondered, how insurance companies handle that. I guess the best thing is to tell them to talk to you.
Well,
So,
I mean,
because
we have a way we describe the property. We have property descriptions. So if there's a separate structure or if there's something about the property that we need to either declare as a separate structure, or we're saying this property has this address plus a half. It's got these structures on it. As long as the insurance company has accepted that policy and those descriptions, I have never seen coverage being denied.
It's interesting, dealing with trust and probate matters and estate matters. There are times that I come across multi-unit family homes or commercial type of structures that have not been touched probably in 50, 60 years, and the people renting it, and they're not up to code. And they has to, you can't say, oh, why don't you leave your place? We need to fix it. I assume that they give them money to leave for a while so they can bring the property up to code, because it may not be safe. So if someone is in a dwelling of a 7-unit building or a 6-unit building, and their apartment that they're renting is not up to code, the electrical hasn't been done, I always think it's a good idea so there's no fires started in the unit, to have a place for people to live. Is there an insurance policy that covers that? So if I buy a 7-unit building and I know that it's not
No,
up to code.
I mean, when you're buying a new building and there's a lot of problems with it.
Yeah,
A
they're
lot,
old,
a
a
lot
lot
of
of them,
times the
yeah.
insurance company will deny adding, accepting the policy,
Oh,
because
really?
we send out
Interesting.
inspectors, and if there's anything wrong with the roof or if there's anything wrong, then I've had actually a client where an inspector went out and said this is not an approved roof,
Oh, wow.
and they need to submit a work order that has money put down and a date of it being replaced, or we're not going to accept the policy.
Wow.
So that's what they'll do.
Because, it becomes challenging when you have residents living in there, especially in these unprecedented times, because where do they go, right? So,
Well, landlord properties are a lot
yeah,
different than personal properties. I mean, landlord properties, they have their own kind of rules to them,
yeah,
and they actually are written a little differently, and they don't always fall under a typical homeowner's policy.
right.
Even with the regulations under the fire stuff. Like, for instance, there's an area that farmers won't accept new business if you're a homeowner, but they'll accept new business if it's a landlord property. It's
Oh,
just the way
interesting.
it was submitted to the Department of
So
Insurance.
there's the criteria for accepting insurance is different if it's a landlord non-owner property versus your
Well,
own home.
it depends on how the insurance company files with the Department of Insurance, what policies they're writing accepting. They have all these rules that they have to always be filed with our state.
Yeah.
And once you have rules that are applied to, say, a couple different products, which are the homeowners products, but they didn't apply them to the other products, then those rules only apply to those, and they don't
Oh,
apply to everything.
interesting.
And
Wow.
every insurance company will handle those regulations as they see fit.
Interesting, yeah, because I deal with new construction, but I also deal with there was new construction that have had some issues and people had to be paid to move out. That was the whole situation. It was in Orange County, so I suggested my buyer doesn't buy it because it was just too funky. But yeah, because I come across different types of situations, grandfathered in, then rebuilding with new permits, and that's why I love what I do because they're unique to each situation. I just closed a 9 real estate asset probate in February. Got out in the nick of time, And each one was so unique, and it was so fun. You know,
Yeah.
people would find it challenging. I find it interesting. I'm like, how am I going to do this? It's like a Rubik's Cubes, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get this done. We're going to do it well. But we're going to take a break. And so I really, thank everyone for watching, and we'll be right back.
Felicia Jurado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
The Mina Kuper Real Estate Team is helping sellers and buyers in the Santa Cruz Valley all the way down to San Diego County. The team believes in giving back and is offering up to $5,000 in sellers and buyers closing costs. With over 20 years experience in the industry, you can be assured to get the best personalized service from an expert. Mina Kuper is a certified trust, probate, and divorce realtor with the state of California, helping you and your attorney with all your real estate matters, from cleanup, organizing, renovation, valuations, estate sales, and more. Hire an expert. Go to listedbyminakuper.com or call 310-345-8500. That's 310-345-8500.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS Radio, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, with Felicia Jurado. I want to say thank you for joining us. Felicia is one of my sponsors, and I'm super excited to have met her because I think she's going to be a super special person in my life.
Thank you for having me. This is
So
fun.
I will never let go of you now.
Awesome.
Just warning you, so if you're having too much fun, just let me know.
Okay.
But I want to let everyone know how to get in touch with you because you're a wealth of information. I know there's so many different rules and things change so dramatically, almost on a daily basis. I know in real estate, if you ask a real estate attorney about something, he's got to go look it up because every 2 days the story is different. So I know that you be more equipped, better equipped when you're in your office, and you can give them a free consultation just to know what's available to them.
Awesome. Okay, so you can reach me at 661-288-2001 at any time.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Mina.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, honey. Bye. All right. We have Mr. Garrett Charity from McCarthy Law, who's been a longtime friend of mine and business associate. I didn't tell everyone, but I do have a tax resolution firm as well. And we've, a lot of times, there's a lot of crossover with tax liens and returns and trust and probate and messy stuff. And we come in and save the day. And Garrett has been a big help in that arena. I've known him, I think, 9, 10 years now.
Yeah,
We've done
exactly.
business
We're
together.
quite close, despite
Yeah,
this
your law
plexiglass.
firm. I love your law firm. Everybody is like family there. And,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing to see how much you guys have evolved and grown, and how professional you are.
And handling the hard problems. And obviously your show today, we're talking about trust and probate and
Yeah.
divorce. And along with those fun topics, we also have debt.
Yes,
That is
unfortunately.
very common with trust and probate and,
Yes.
and divorce. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
hidden debt
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So the message I like to get out to everyone today with McCarthy law and my legal practice is that debt doesn't have to be so scary. You can hire a professional to handle this for you. If you are behind on payments, behind on your commercial lease payments, behind on credit card payments or loan payments, you can hire an experienced attorney, myself, or a law firm to negotiate those debts down for a fraction of their original balance.
Yeah.
Typically with my law firm, as you know, Mina, even with my fees included, we're getting roughly about 60%.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty phenomenal. If somebody walks in and owes $100,000 and I'm putting them on a plan to pay back about $60,000 on that
Yeah.
debt, keeping them out of bankruptcy,
Yes.
trying to keep the doors open, trying to keep cash in their pocket, but restructuring those debts with their creditors. And that's just the message that I really want to get out there to people, that you don't have to go through hard times alone. And 2020's been a rough time.
Yeah, it has. It's been, when I reach out to you, I know you work so hard, and you guys really care.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, referrals, and vice versa. We send you those referrals too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen in the probate or the trust sales and the probate sales or
yeah.
the divorces that there's secret debt in families.
Yes, and the thing that I tell people, even though we're in unprecedented times right now, life is, full of hills and turns, and just keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do not freeze up. If you freeze, do it quickly and move on, because now is the time to really be introspective and take care of your goals and your needs, because if you do things gradually and you start looking at what you need to do, get your ducks in a row and see what's available to you.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, I've seen people in divorce situations. We've often exchanged clients in that arena and worked nicely through even people that don't get along well. We're here to help them. Because unfortunately, divorce decree doesn't relieve anyone.
No, I'll tell you some stories. I have had many clients in that situation, going through a divorce, a home sale included, selling
sure.
off all the assets. And, either spouse didn't really appreciate how much debt the other spouse had.
Yes.
They walk into my office, I take debts anywhere as low as $15,000 all the way up to the millions. And we've, one recently, couple walked in with about $120,000 of debt between them on credit cards and various loans that they've had throughout their marriage, and obviously a big argument about who's going to pay for them. And what we often do is we sell off all the assets, put all the money in a lump,
Right.
and then I use whatever money we have to get those debts down as low as possible, so both parties can walk away with as much money in their pockets as possible. With my practice as well, I defend all those lawsuits. You may not know, in California, we have a 4-year statute of limitations on debt. So from the date of the first missed payment, you have 4 years to bring a lawsuit in our state. So I watch out for that statute of limitations. If the lawsuit comes in, I will defend that lawsuit using all the defenses available, and try to settle it for as little as possible. What I see very often is that people get scared and they immediately run to a bankruptcy or run to their nest eggs, their 401ks, their savings, and just pay it all off. And then they exhaust their retirement savings on these debts, which is an awful result.
It is.
I see also too, when people, see a lawsuit come, they freak out and also do the same thing, where if you hire an experienced lawyer to defend you from that lawsuit, you don't miss your deadlines.
Right.
We conduct evidence exchange. And sometimes, Mina, I even find errors that the creditor may have made.
And that's wonderful. That's amazing because, something I've looked at my own things sometimes and I'm like, this something doesn't sound right here. And people make mistakes and people don't have the time to look. And that's people should call you, even before you think about bankruptcy, because you may not qualify for anything more than a Chapter 13, which is a reorganization. And then you have a bankruptcy on your records in 9 or 10 years.
10
now.
years, Mina.
10 years.
Stays on your record for 10 years.
And with your program, people can really get up to speed, no bankruptcy, but they can build their credit back within 24 months probably, start building up their credit, and there's no bankruptcy on there. You're repaying in a lesser amount, just as it would be Chapter 13. So, people right away think about it, which in certain circumstances, it may be something viable.
And I do refer bankruptcy
right,
all the time
right.
if
And
it's
I know
the right option for them.
You're very honest about that because, like myself, if I feel someone can do something, they have a tax issue, and it's really an easy fix, I don't want to charge them. I'll tell them what to do. And people are so grateful. They're like, "Oh my God, what can I do for you?" I said, "Just do what I said, and if you have anyone to refer me, that's great, because when you deal with all this debt and people think they're going to go to jail,
that they're going to come take your couch and your TV.
Take everybody
they're not
away.
going to take your couch and your TV.
Just be honest and get help. You want to just be forthcoming for. Just being in an unforeseen circumstance and you fall behind doesn't make you a criminal.
But also, you want to be made aware of the legal rights and remedies that are available to you. And I see a lot of crappy payday loans, and on the business side, these merchant processing loans, which is the equivalent of a payday loan for a business.
Yeah, they're hard 23%. If you have other options, why, I know people listen to their friend Joe. I'm just making up a name, but and they go ahead and they leap into it, and they're like, "Oh my God,
and guess
what am I getting into?"
In that leap, oftentimes, what I've seen is you see non-compliance with what's called the Federal Truth in Lending Act, TILA, and many times when I get into some of these debts where someone has gone behind on a debt, I can evaluate their contracts and look for violations in the Truth in Lending Act, and often get that debt down. And sometimes, even in my defensive pleadings and my defensive briefs, argue plaintiff side arguments for damages for my client because of violations of the Truth in Lending Act. Now, these are numerous. You could look them up. I could get into the weeds legally with them. But long story short is there are certain disclosures that are often not made with fast and furious loans, disclosures with interest rates and changes in your card member agreements, for instance. Maybe interest payments weren't disclosed properly. Interest rates, balloon payments weren't disclosed properly. I find a lot of that crap in these loans. And I'm able to get my clients off the hook for a lot less for violations they didn't even know existed, and they feel so guilty in the real reality of the light of what's going on that they actually were being taken advantage of with a predatory loan.
Exactly, and I don't fall short of having to take the praise for saving marriages when someone opened the mail and they owed $200,000-300,000 IRS tax debt. And the other person didn't know about it. They are not happy campers, and then there's credit card debt and all that. And knowing that you can help save a marriage because there's an antidote for this. There's help.
Now let me talk to you about something really fun. And this is the really fun part of my practice. Once we settle those debts, they are supposed to appear as 0 on your credit report. Many creditors don't change the credit reporting.
Yes, they say unpaid or something like that.
Unpaid, or you still owe $32,000 or something like that.
Right.
So I'll file the dispute with a lawsuit ready to go. That this should be 0. Here's my client has paid settled in full on this debt. And those creditors will very often, with 3 credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they will not change that credit reporting. And that is a slam dunk Truth in Lending Act violation. That is slam dunk FCRA violation, Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act violation. And at our law firm, I can take those on, the contingency.
Sure.
Where because we are paid our legal fees from the violators of the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Right, I remember you told me that a few
Exactly.
years ago. We talked about it, and I thought it was so amazing. I know I spoke to one of your clients who referred to me that you were helping them with that matter, and they had no idea. They're like, what do you mean?
Very common. All the major national banks make this mistake. They don't update your credit reporting, and I sue all of them. I'm in all 4 federal courts in
That's
California.
amazing. I love it.
And I'll sue the main creditor, and I'll sue all the credit reporting agencies that didn't correct that information. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. And not only will I get my legal fees, but I get my client then damages from all the violators.
And that's, everybody should tell everybody about you, because I've been a big fan of yours, and because of the nature of that business, I don't like to refer many people except your firm and you, because it could be an unethical business. People take advantage of people, unfortunately, that are vulnerable, and I'm there to protect them, as you are as well. And it doesn't fall short of people trusting someone who referred someone, but knowing how you do business, I only work with people that work like me and do business like me. Your conscience and your soul is part of who you are, and that's a revolving door. And we're here to help people, not work against them.
100%.
That's it's a and everyone in your firm, and when I visit, the firm once in a while, everybody's just so great. I feel like, you guys are my family, right?
Yeah. And they're all really fantastic people, and we really care about helping as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And that comes from a strong referral network as well.
Yes, right.
Certainly referring to you and other professionals
of course.
that can help them. And even if they're not the best client for me, I get them to whoever the right person is for them. So all my clients are incredibly happy because they came to the right person. I'm not here to sell you on debt settlement.
Yeah, no,
or
of course.
I'm here to get you to the right place.
Like, if someone's going to become is an heir to an estate, and don't have funds, and they're in a debt matter, a debt issue that will come close to maybe what they're going to inherit, and they inherit the money, can you still help them?
Anytime a debt is late, it's time to work on
Love
things.
it.
And that's a message I want to put out there for if you miss a payment on your commercial lease, if you miss a minimum payment on your credit card. Exactly.
I love it. I didn't know that.
It's time to get a legal professional involved.
Right.
Because your bargaining power is going to be so much more weakened if you don't know the way the law works. If you don't know the rules of civil procedure.
Information is key.
Very key, because in this business, and I know very well, that there's a lot of misrepresentations out there by creditors.
Yes.
They say things that simply aren't true to get that payment. They threaten lawsuits, or they threaten legal actions that aren't true at all.
Right.
So you need someone to evaluate what you're hearing and letting you know, okay, that's not true. This is true. This could happen. That it will never happen. And it improves your bargaining power, so you can then get that debt down and move on with your life.
Yeah. And what's interesting? Some people are like, oh, I feel bad doing that. I'm like, every time you miss a payment and you had a hard time with something, your rate goes up to 30%.
Yeah.
Or 25%. They don't feel bad about that. I'm sorry. You know what? That's not playing fair, because, and then they'll send you more credit cards. So I don't know, people get these weird credit cards. I don't want to mention some names of credit card companies. They'll send you things if you have bad credit. But it's almost like building an empire of failure for these people. Yeah. And instead of working with you, they're here to enforce higher. 30% is predatory lending. It's like,
well, so many
crazy.
Of my clients feel so much
work
guilt.
With them.
Yeah, they feel so much guilt
I've heard
about
that. I'm like, well,
you
had a hard time. You're going through a divorce, or someone passed away, or someone got ill, or something happened, and they don't care.
No, not at all. They don't realize that they've been on that 25 and 30% interest rate for so many years.
Yeah, they have no idea. They're paying like $400 on a $4,000 debt.
And it's so interesting, because when we crunch the numbers, my clients come in feeling so bad about being behind on their debts. But when we look at what they've paid, maybe they've paid back 250% already on what they originally were loaned.
And it's never going to stop. It's the love that keeps on giving.
Exactly.
And they're like, bring it on. I'm like, gosh, I said, you need to put the brakes on this. Even with the tax debt, intercept, don't run away from it, don't put it in your drawer. Go get the letters they send you. Don't avoid this. There's remedies. There's ways to handle it.
That's some of the best legal advice out there. Open your mail.
Open your mail. Tell them if you moved, they're going to find you. Don't tell them where you went. I think you should let them know where you went.
Yeah, and also part of my job is being here today, getting the word out.
Yes.
That there are resources out there for you. There are experts that handle this. We can decipher what's true and untrue, and really give you all the tools you need to make the best decision for yourself.
And that's what my show is all about. My show is all about those things that people typically will stay on the phone for hours and get different departments because they can't make sense of it and they don't know what to do and they fold and end up in the wrong place. My show is about helping people, especially in these unprecedented times. People have lost their jobs. People don't know what to do. People
have experienced
death. Schooling children when you have to work, and there's so much pressure. Do not freeze. I can't reiterate. Do not freeze. Go take a walk. Take your dog, borrow someone's pet. Take a walk, walk it off. It makes you feel great. And move forward. You wake up in the morning, you're a lucky person. Take care of your things. Don't put it in the drawer.
I wanted to get one piece of information out there quickly, which is in California, we have a 1-year statute of limitations on a death in a family for creditors.
Right.
So if your creditor hasn't sued, if the creditor hasn't brought a suit against an estate in a 1-year period of time, then that debt is not eligible for a suit
that's
as
a statute.
well.
Right, they can't
so
collect.
some of that has come up now with some deaths happening and creditors threatening lawsuit after that time period.
Right, and it's very important to let the creditors know in a specific period of time, because then that could be a fault on yours. So
starts the clock running.
So if you need a fiduciary person if it's not a probate and you need a fiduciary to help you do the paperwork, reach out to me as well, because as long as everything's filed in a timely manner to let them know that this person has passed away and they don't act in the time that they need to, well, you did your job. And that's so important because, again, people don't get a fiduciary. They just move into the house or whatever, and then they get letters, and then their time has passed.
Incredibly important.
Right? And it's just so amazing. I know you can help people in other states as well.
Yes, McCarthy law is in all 50 states.
Right.
I'm in the Los Angeles area, but I take referrals in all 50 states and network with our other attorneys in those states to help
and I know you guys have worked endless hours. I've called or emailed, and
you can text me weekends and I always get back to you.
I don't even want to tell everybody that. I'm like, hey, Garrett, what are you doing? I'm just
for
gonna
you.
Get debt
We're going on a decade here.
We're just gonna hang out and get debt, just so I can hang out and have someone to talk to. That's kind of great person. But I want to say thank you. We're gonna take a break now. Garrett Charity with McCarthy Law.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life.
Felicia Jurado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
Hometown.
If you see a traffic problem in our valley and would like to let us know, call the traffic tip line at 298-KHTS. That's 298-5487. 298-KHTS.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Loraca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to LoracaInspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
The Mina Kuper Real Estate Team is helping sellers and buyers in the Santa Cruz Valley all the way down to San Diego County. The team believes in giving back and is offering up to $5,000 in sellers and buyers closing costs. With over 20 years experience in the industry, you can be assured to get the best personalized service from an expert. Mina Kuper is a certified trust, probate, and divorce realtor with the state of California, helping you and your attorney with all your real estate matters, from cleanup, organizing, renovation, valuations, estate sales, and more. Hire an expert. Go to listedbyminakuper.com or call 310-345-8500. That's 310-345-8500.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM with Garrett Charity from McCarthy Law Firm. Oh, Garrett, you know what I forgot to tell you?
What?
I published a book, Inherited Properties.
Fantastic.
Tips on how to sell inherited properties.
Congratulations.
I can't believe I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
I was so involved in getting it right, with the editing, have to reread it and have other people read it and everything.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to, put it out there at some point. I have some people are interested to pre-plan.
Very good.
Right? When they know it's coming. And I'm really super excited
Very
about
exciting.
it. Yeah. So, and Garrett, what's the best way to get to you?
Sure. Call me. 310-564-0999. That's the number to my local office in Century City, California, for McCarthy Law. 310-564-0999.
Great. And Garrett Charity is a great name for you because you are a charitable person. And, it's funny, it's great. And that is a real name.
Yeah, it's a
So I really, I appreciate everything that you guys do. And I look forward to helping more people together.
Yeah.
In whatever aspect of life they're in or foreseeable future.
Yeah, it goes all the way from, debt is something that never goes away. One thing we didn't talk about, which is a major part of my practice, are the student loans.
Oh, right.
Right,
yes.
and
my gosh.
we've dealt with a lot of
and
these.
And they just never go away. People can't shake them.
And saddling a lot of the young people so they can't buy homes from you. So, it does drag things down. So with my practice as well, those student loans settle just like the credit card debt, the business debt.
Really?
Exit and commercial leases, 60 cents on the dollar. I can get those private student loans down. The federal student loans are tough. You got to go through an income-based repayment program generally. But the private student loans, we do negotiate those just like the credit card debt.
I mean, because I've seen some people try to qualify for, to buy a home. And I'm still doing this. I'm giving up to $5,000 back in buyers and sellers closing costs. It's a feel-good thing for me. And I just helped a great couple out. And they were just short that little money. Yeah. And I changed their life. And that's so super huge to know that it changed their life. And again,
that's good for me to know for young people too. When I get them out of that student loan debt.
Yes, they actually had student loan debt, but I think it was from the government. It was on
everybody has it nowadays.
A payment plan that they don't pay till later. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we pulled it off, and they're happy campers, and I can't wait for them to invite me
good to
over. Know. Yeah. So again, can you just reiterate your
Sure.
number?
My number is 310-564-0999. Garrett Charity with McCarthy Law.
Awesome, and I can't wait to get you my book.
Yeah, tell me about tell me about some of the issues with inherited properties. I'm just kind of curious now.
People don't. We can actually sometimes, depending on the location, I have contractors that'll come in and fix it, and we get paid in escrow. Mm-hmm. So depending, if I evaluate the property, then I take a look and see whether or not I think it's a good idea that I can have my people come in and paint the place and do whatever. And then we sell it and they get paid in escrow if the numbers work. It's
Fantastic.
Great, right? So, and I wanted to share, I am doing Pet of the Week. I love animals. Whoever knows me knows how much I love animals. And I have a beautiful, how do I show this beautiful tuxedo cat? She's about a year old. Can everyone see her?
What we can do, Mina, we can always link that
Oh,
on
that would
our
be great.
Facebook, or because you're linked directly to the show, they can just go straight to your Facebook page and see it there.
That is so amazing. She's a tuxedo cat, and she is beautiful. She's with her foster mommy right now. We don't know if she gets along with dogs, but if you want to be considered for adoption, not you, but the cat. I'm not taking any more people in my house. I have enough people. Thank you. But the phone number to call, Leslie is her foster mommy, and she's at 310-738-1364. So she's a tuxedo color, and she's about a 1-year-old, and she needs love, and she needs the perfect home. So if you know anyone who would love a pussycat, and give it a great home. Thank you for watching. Listed by Mina Kuper on KHTS Radio 98.1 FM.